everyone, and welcome back to another video in my series, What I Learned in College. Today we're talking again about prioritizing what you want, your hobbies, all those things. And last time I talked about travel because that is something that is very important to me, but we're also going to talk about some other things that you should prioritize in your life that make you happy. My biggest example of this that I've kept up with the past 4 years has been reading. I've loved to read. I have a very full bookshelf, all the things. I've already posted a few reading vlogs here on my channel, but I want to really dive into this next book because it helped me to sort of disengage from the craziness that was happening around me and enjoy a part of my life, I guess you could say. That's one of the things I really enjoy about reading is the ability to immerse yourself in a new world and take time to rest your brain a bit. At least that's how it works for me. This next part of our series is going to be looking at the most recent book that I've read, which was Iron Flame, the second book in the Fourth Wing series. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have not read a book since because I am, let's say, traumatized. I'm a little, in the dumps after reading that book, and I would like to finish out the books that have already come out in that series before I move on, and I really can't force myself to open the third book yet. So yeah, that to say this video is probably going to be pretty long because I had a lot of thoughts on this book, and if you don't want any spoilers, I'm so sorry, but there are definitely spoilers ahead. So come back once you've read the book and we can chat about it. But yeah, let's get into my experience reading Iron Flame. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is a reading vlog, just like all the videos I've been posting recently. I've really been enjoying sharing this with y'all, and especially starting this new series. So the last video that you saw was me reading Fourth Wing, and so we're gonna open this package because it has a very exciting addition to my library. Let me show it to you. Boom. I immediately bought the second and third book for myself off of Amazon after reading the first one because it was just so good. So this video will be about Iron Flame, the second book in the Empyrean series. I think that's what it's called. I was told that the series will have 5 books in total. There's only 3 out as of the past 3 years that it's been published. So this is gonna be an ongoing series, I would say, of me reading these books. My phone is where I have y'all places it very secure, but I'm trying. Okay, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I did actually already start reading this book on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm on chapter 4, I believe, but I really wanted to read the physical copy because I do enjoy the book, and I didn't realize it was this big, so I'm glad I did get the book to gauge where I'm at. But yeah, then I can also update y'all as I go, because reading on my phone and recording on my phone don't happen at the same time. Anyways, I'm on the 4th chapter. I will have spoilers ahead, like all my other videos, so if you don't want spoilers, I apologize. Goodness. I'm just gonna hold you because it keeps falling. But if you don't want spoilers ahead, I apologize. But we are gonna be talking through this book as I read it. I want to be more engaged with y'all about what I'm going through as I read it, and not just like, oh my goodness, I read 20 chapters and I haven't updated you. Because reading a new book, like, there's so many things that just like pop up or like that I find interesting. But the second book picks up right where the third book left off, which is very, very nice. I didn't miss time. I didn't miss anything like that. But the third book ended with Violet getting injured, discovering that like the whole reason Xander is marked as with like the rebellion relic And like, there's so many things behind this, but like, there's a rebellion starting up again that is the same rebellion that happened 6 years ago that Violet's brother supposedly died in, and it started like the I'm trying to think of why kids are being marked with rebellion runes, stuff like that. But that's still happening in the background, and Violet has decided to join the cause because she doesn't like that people aren't being told the truth, and that she experienced firsthand the violence that's happening outside of the wards, and that they have the ability to do something about it, so why wouldn't they? But they got back to the war college and are going like undercover, basically. Nothing has changed except for the fact that Violet is just now aware of all of these things, but these have been happening the entire first book. So now she's having to cope with the idea of not telling everyone the whole truth, which I commended her for in the first book, but like kind of bitter at the end because not everyone acts that way. But yeah, nothing much has happened other than graduation. Assignments are about to be handed out for the third years. Leadership is about to be declared, all that stuff. But yeah, that's it. I will update y'all more as I read this, and I'm really excited. Okay, this is quite the angle, but I wanted to update y'all on where I am in the book. I'm currently on around chapter 10. So main points that have happened is Xaden got assigned to the southern. He got assigned to a station that's not like in the middle of nowhere. It's more on like the border side, so it's a bit more dangerous of a station. And then they were given the stipulation that they were only allowed to like leave for their dragons to like meet up every 2 weeks. And if they went more often than that, then they'd get in trouble. And so they were gonna switch off weeks. Xaden travel one weekend, Violet travel the next weekend. And so we got through the first week of the book, which was them like preparing for conscription day, and the new round of first years making it over the parapet. There was 78 of them that made it over. They got assigned into sections, all the things. Important people that have been mentioned is Liam's younger sister is a part of their section, but absolutely hates Violet because she blames her for his sister's death, which is like understandable. But I applaud Violet for continuing to watch over his sister like she said she would. As Liam is no longer there to watch his sister. So she's been doing more to protect her and all the things, even though the sister's name is Sloane, even though Sloane hates it. And then there's a character that was introduced that is the third son of the king, but he's not going by his actual name. He is going by his middle name and a fake last name. And so like the king had the king forbid his sons to enter into the Writer's Quadrant. So he's doing this against his father's will, without his father's knowledge. Which, like, the king has the ability to see into the future, I believe. So maybe he's just not paying attention to his son. Who knows? Whatever. We get to the first day of training day. I don't remember what it was, participation day or presentation day. No, I don't think it was presentation day. The weekend has already gone by. Xaden didn't visit for the weekend, whatever. It's his first week away. Terrence's not that happy about it. But yeah, there was during whatever day you want to call it, the first day of training, there's a first year who attacked Violet. First, he was asking, he had heard the name Violet Sorengale, that's her last name, before like seeing a face or like knowing who was associated with it. So Nadine pretended it was her and was like talking to the first year, and the first year like killed her. Not like killed her. The first year killed her, snapped her neck. And then once he realized it wasn't Violet that he had killed, he attacked Violet. But in the process of doing that, he had quoted a little quote. Let me find it in here. That's like, it's what Commander Ados, the guy who like put them in harm's way last book, it's what he had said to them during this book, basically threatening their lives. And it was, secrets are best kept when you like get rid of the people keeping them or whatever. Wow, I think I'm further than I thought I was. Oh, secrets die with the people who keep them. Yeah. And so he exposed himself as like an op, and then she had to kill him, which is wild. So that's where I'm at. I'm also currently reading it on my phone. I'm not reading it in the book because this is kind of hard to travel with, but yeah, that's all I got so far. I'm enjoying it kind of, but like I don't know where this is gonna go, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep reading.
You shot. Well, so you guys all made the accusation. You're like, we'll wait for Derek to go on one of his climbs. You know, he loves the climbing. And then Amanda's like, no.
Okay, I'm on chapter 20. I'm about a third of the way through the book, and some of my thoughts so far are that I understand why Violet isn't telling her friends everything, because one, she can't, two, she's trying to protect them, but also like it seems, and I think she's starting to realize it, but like it seems like she's doing the exact same thing she's mad at Xaden for doing, and that's protecting them by not telling them, and in turn it's leaving them unprepared. Whatever. So I think she's gonna realize that she's doing what she's mad at Xaden for doing, and I hope that kind of bridges the gap a bit. But a lot of people told me I would get annoyed with Xaden and Violet fighting the whole time. I'm actually not annoyed at it yet, because I'm very interested to see how it unravels, if that makes sense, because they keep like kind of fighting in circles, but also like learning new things about each other. And I really do think that even though they've known each other for over a year, like they don't know each other, because they were like set in a very high stakes environment where all that they worried about was staying alive and not like getting the time to know each other. So I think that's important, especially as like this story continues. I would like it to be a deeper understanding. So Xaden and Violet have been going back and forth, like their dragons have been every week they take turns on like who travels where. But they've also hit in a few like road bumps of like other people leadership putting either Xaden or Violet in some sort of activity that prohibits them from like seeing each other. Their dragons can still see each other, but like they don't see each other, which is interesting. So yeah. Oh, big plot point that is at the first part of this book is Violet's other dragon. You learn in the first book, because they call her a feather tail, classification of what their tail looks like. Feather tails are actually like baby dragons. And so they go through this process, though, of like baby dragons have a different power. They look different until they mature. And then through their maturing process, they like get their actual tail that they would have throughout adulthood in their actual color, as well as like maturity, whatever. Through maturity, they also go through this it's called a dreamless sleep, and it lasts for a good amount of time. I think it's like a few months. And so Violet's been getting in trouble with her, like, I forget what his title is, but like her teacher, her professor, because her second dragon hasn't been showing up to flight lessons, or like flight lessons, because she's in the dreamless sleep. But like the dragons purposely don't tell the humans about like what a feather tail is, and like how powerful their children are, and like all of these things, in order to protect them so they don't like mate with a baby. Because you learned in the first book that like Violet mating with a baby, like Violet has limited access to the power of the dragon. There doesn't have to be any sort of like restraint from the dragon's part. Violet just has like all the access to it, but it also wears down the dragon and can kill it. And they grow out of that in maturity. But yeah, so the dragons have decided to not tell humans about that aspect of like what being a dragon is like, in order to protect their children and keep, their kind going. So their teacher doesn't know like why her other dragon hasn't been showing up, just the fact that she hasn't. So the first time Violet got punished for it, she almost burned out, which is when she uses her dragon's power so much that it like literally overheats your body and you can die from it. And then the second time she was going to get punished again in that same way. And this just happened. Taryn physically threatened the professor's dragon, and thinks he took control of the situation, and Violet thinks that she just made an enemy with not only the writer but also the dragon. So yeah, Violet's on her way to visit Xaden again, and I think that's about all that's happened. They talk a little bit about the like happenings outside of the Veil and the war that's, incurring, and what they can do to stop it. Violet's been trying to do research about the Veil and how it works to like try to replicate that situation and increase the range of the Veil. I think it's called The Veil. I'm also watching a show that has a very similar presence, so that could not be what it's called, and I could be switching up the names, but like you get the idea. Anyways, yeah, she's been unsuccessful in that, but she has an ally with one of the scribes in the archives, who's not the archives. The scribes are supposed to like document when people ask for things, and this scribe is not doing that, and is just like smuggling books out of the archive, basically. I think what's going to happen, this is going to be a prediction. This is my first time making a prediction in this book, because she had mentioned beforehand that she knows where her father's notes are, and that her father was researching feather tails when he was dying, and like other things. Like he's the reason that she had that fairy tale book about the venom in the first place, knew what they were, all those things. So I feel like her father has some sort of information hidden away about what's happening. That would be so helpful. Like I have an inkling that's what's happening. And I also want to know how he died, because I have a feeling that he died because he knew what was happening and became a threat. I don't think they went into like how he actually died. They probably won't, but like that's just where I'm at. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this. It's so good. I don't think I'm gonna get turned away by like continuing to read it, because I've gotten through the part of like I like the groove of what's happening, and if it just keeps repeating, like I would just want to know the like backstory of all the fantasy stuff. So yeah, I think most people who read this probably want to stick with like the romance side of it, and so they get like turned away by all of the not romance. Sorry, all the non-romance stuff that's happening in this book. But I'm kind of enthralled by the fantasy of it. I want to learn everything. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. Alright, while I finish making breakfast, I want to talk to y'all about where I am in Iron Flame. Last time I checked in, it was chapter 20. I'm currently on chapter like 32. So some major plot points that have happened since I last updated y'all. Mira, Violet's sister, is now a part of the like station the same place Xaden is. So she sees her sister every other week. Mira doesn't know anything about what's happening on the other side of the ward, and so Violet's tried to hint at it to her and almost told her, and whatever. Every time she like almost tells someone, she freaks out that Xaden's gonna freak out, and then she tells him and he's like, okay. Well, not like that. Like you could tell he's a little like frustrated, but he's just letting it like, he's still being calm towards her because he knows that this is difficult for her. She's not a liar at all. She also got pulled aside for interrogation. So like part of being a year 2 is they do like risk training basically. So what happens when you fall off your dragon, surviving on foot, trying to like read a map, stuff like that. But that also entails like being able to handle interrogation, all this stuff. But when her group got pulled aside for their interrogation the first time, they didn't break by like normal habits, whatever, that should have like gotten them an A, but most people break. And then, but you could see that, I think his name is Varish, came in. And he brought Dane in, and Dane's special ability, which like was a secret to everyone but Violet, is to be able to read someone's memories. And Varish wanted Dane to read Violet's memories, and Violet's been trying to like build up her walls, her mental wards in order to block that. Anyways, he didn't end up doing it because she got injured. Okay, I swear I always get cut off making these videos, but she got injured beforehand. She has a dislocated shoulder.
My Instagram's freaking hacked.
Okay, I made a little makeshift tripod to talk to y'all again. I got cut off earlier this morning talking about Iron Flame. Wow, that took me a second. And I haven't had a chance to pick up my phone again until now. But back to the recap of what was happening in the book. Mira stationed there now. Interrogation is wild. Before that, Dane actually challenged Violet to a fight because Violet wasn't talking to him, and so that was his way of getting him to talk to her. Through that, he learned that he was the reason that they were sent away, even though Violet thought that he knew and he did it on purpose. It was a bit of miscommunication, or so he says. And that, yeah, he doesn't know anything about what happened at the end of the last book. He really, like, didn't know that he had any part in it. He just only told his dad what he saw, and that was it. That's all he knows. Other major plot point, Jack Barlow didn't actually die in the last book. I don't remember mentioning him that much, but he was like Violet's number one enemy, the guy who really just wanted her dead since like day one. And during war games, he came after her, and it was either him or her, and she developed her signet power in that moment and crushed a mountain on top of him. She thought he was dead. Everyone thought he was dead, but apparently Nolan, the healer, has been spending all of his energy throughout this entire time. It's been like 6 months, bringing this man back from the dead, which seems wild. So Jack Barlow is back and alive. That was one of the more recent ones. Yeah, as far as he goes, he ended up like saving her life from an assassination attempt and has been like relatively nice to her, not like overly nice, but like out of character nice, which is weird. And he equates it to having seen death and being grateful for that, to her for that, which is weird. Anyways, he saved her life from another assassination attempt. In that attempt, though, Imogen? No, not Imogen. Yeah. One of the other people that was there lost their lives. Because they were also attacked during the assassination attempt. It was 2 people attacked by infantry people, actually, and the infantry is technically not allowed in the Writers' Quadrant, so that was interesting. Throughout the course of the 13 chapters I've read, Violet and Xaden have gotten better at communicating with one another, been more open about it. I had kind of hinted that towards the front part when I was explaining like Mira. She realized, she hasn't told him, but she knows mentally that she loves him and that she does everything. Like her actions speak that she loves him, but she hasn't said the words to him yet. So they're in this kind of, I wouldn't say like middle ground, because I feel like they've gotten past the middle ground, but they're not quite to the end destination yet. So maybe like 3/4 ground. But yeah, I think they're working to a good spot. Another big point is that Violet ended up telling her friend group, the 3 friends she's closest with in her, well, the other 3 second years in her quadrant of the wing, about what happened at, I think it's Ressing was the place. At the end of the last book, all the stuff that happened except for her brother being alive, the secret city that's not supposed to be there, all that stuff, all the stuff that's not her story to tell, but like everything having to do with the wards, the venin, the wyvern, there's so many words that I actually don't know how to pronounce, but yeah, so her friends know about that, have been helping her research that. And so what I just finished reading was them completing a heist to steal old journals that predate all of the books in the archives, and should in theory tell them how they made the wards, because they're like personal journals from the original 6 who made up Nevere and like created the wards and all that stuff. All of her friends helped her with that, as well as, I don't know if I mentioned him. I think I mentioned him. His true name is Cam. He's the 3rd son of the king, and they needed someone of royal bloodline to get it past the wards, so he helped them complete this. But you also found out that like Xaden killed the oldest son of the king, so his brother, his third year in school. First year in school. I lied. His first year in school. And Xaden says it was because he was a bully and he was threatening his friend's life. And so he killed him during threshing, which is when they like pick their dragons. Yeah, so they had completed that. They had stolen 2 journals, gotten out of the archives before they sealed tight, because they seal from all like outside air particles, so it's like airtight and you would die instantly if you got sealed in. They didn't get sealed in, they got it out. Xaden was there that day, that was his day visiting, and so he immediately from there got on his dragon to go back home, but he didn't go back home because he first has to take one of the journals to Brennan. At the end of the last chapter that I just read, Violet was on her way back to her dorm with the journal that she had, but she ran into Nolan, who had offered her basically a poisonous drink, but she thought he was on the good side, so she took it, not realizing what was in it, and got kidnapped by Varish, and is now being interrogated for having stolen a book from the archives, because it was on her person when she got kidnapped. So that is chapter 35 that I'm on. It was a bit since I had last said. I think last I said I was on 33, and there's technically 2 parts to this book. I'm almost to part 2. That's at chapter 37. I don't know what splits them up into parts. I haven't gotten there yet. I am surprisingly really enthralled by this book. I thought I wasn't gonna like it because, not that people have said it was bad, but like people don't love it as much as the first and the third. But I'm really enthralled by this. It's much more filled with like mystery and action, which I haven't been reading a lot recently, but have severely been enjoying. And I like fully understanding parts of a fantasy. The first books always get me weird of fantasies because you don't understand the full like scope of this false reality. But once you get to the second book, you're starting to have a grounding that you can go off of, and you know the characters and you know the environment that they're in, and yet things consistently keep changing because it's a book and things have to change. That's how plots work, you know? So I'm excited to keep reading this. I'm also excited to see how she gets through the whole like interrogation processes, what second year is like, how they do with this whole like the boards are gonna collapse and give in within 6 months, because I mean, like, I'm here in the book and this first half has already been 6 months, so like this would be 6 months. I don't know. Also, I'm pretty sure that the second book ends on a cliffhanger, so good thing I own the third book. Anyways, it is currently like 10:45 at night. I still need to like shower, fold the laundry that's sitting next to me, and read for the night, because I don't fall asleep without reading this book anymore. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Some major plot points have happened, obviously, but like it seems to like be a steady flow, which I'm very much enjoying, and can't wait to see where the rest of this book goes. All right, everyone, I don't remember the last time I updated you on Iron Flame, but I've read, well, in the past like week or so, I haven't read much of it. I was traveling and at a dance conference, so there wasn't much time to sit down and read. Don't mind me, I also like just woke up for the day, so my hair is still a hot mess. But I wanted to touch on some things that have happened in Iron Flame before I continue reading, because my goodness, it's getting good. I am through I've started like part 2 now. So the book is split into halves. And I think the last time I talked to y'all, Violet had gotten in trouble for the like scheme that they were pulling off. And so she got taken aside and put away and like tortured for her information, and was going to be killed if she didn't tell them anything. Xaden ended up saving her, but before that they had brought Dane in to read her mind, and he refused and fought back, and Dane ended up killing whatever his name was, the guy that tortured her. I don't remember his name. It's been a hot second. Anyways, but Xaden ended up grabbing both of them, getting them out. In the process of getting out, they had basically been discovered, and so there was nothing they could do other than flee. In order to keep them distracted, Xaden ended up dropping a whole bunch of Wyron, there we go, corpse is on the outposts around the country. And then that led all the leadership to leave and go figure that out. But while Xaden was getting Violet and Dane out, Violet wanted to give all of the cadets an option. She wanted to inform them of what was happening, give them the option to either stay and feed into a lie or come with them and fight to protect everyone. So a good amount of them ended up coming, and they flew to Iridia. And so now they're in Iridia, and they're kind of trying to figure out what to do with the cadets. They're putting them back in school, but with now with different leadership, because some of the teachers came with them, but not all of them. Violet had tried to revive one of the stones. I don't even remember what they're called, but what makes the wards a thing is powered by a stone. She tried to power a dead one, and she failed, and so she's trying to figure that out. Like, she thought she had it all right through the journal that they ended up stealing, all the things. Through this, Xaden and Violet have kind of made up in the process. He ended up telling her that he loved him. She ended up telling him that she loved him. Wow, that was a lot for me. They told that they loved each other before they fled the school. So that happened. I remember like kicking my feet when that happened, because finally. Mira ended up bringing some people from her outpost and joining the people at Iridia. So now Mira knows about Brennan. Another major thing is Violet's mom, who is like the overarching general of the school. She let them leave, in the fact that like she stopped them in the hallway and told them like, go now or you don't have a chance. Basically helped them leave, all the things. And then she had made a comment that she didn't know all the things that they were doing to Violet, and the fact that she was like being tortured and singled out and all the things. So I hope that she comes around and ends up being on their side, so it's like a whole big happy family, but we shall see. Mira is mad at Brennan for making her think that he's dead, so that's a thing. Xaden and Violet are kind of still in a tiff, I think. They're not really like speaking to each other because they're not seeing each other. And they're disagreeing on some things because one of the kings of another territory wants to talk to Violet and will give them something they need in return if he sees Violet wield her power. Violet wants to do it. Xaden doesn't want to do it because he knows that, like, if she does it, he's gonna, like, use her instead of taking care of her. Anyways, I think that's all I'm at right now that we haven't talked about. So I'm gonna jump back into reading this and keep y'all updated. Okay, so I just finished Iron Flame. I know it's been a while since I've talked to you guys. I've kind of just been hunkering down reading it. But let's talk about the end first. Oh my goodness. Oh my. I say let's talk about the end and then I have no words to say because that's crazy, dude. First off, her mom dies. Tears, literal tears in my eyes at that point. Second off, Xaden, my dude. I understand that he thought that she was dying, but he lost that battle. And now they're gonna try to find a cure, and there's not gonna be a cure. And no, like I literally think I'm a different person after reading that book. I cannot fathom their little interaction before he like shows his eyes. He's like, you love me, right? Okay. Yeah, I feel like nothing else is important other than that. Except for the fact that he reads people's intentions. That one got me. When I read that, I was also flabbergasted. Not in the same way, not to the same intensity right now, but yeah. Oh my goodness. I have no other words about the book. It is so good. I'm just gonna give a final review because, I mean, like the second half of the book, so worth reading. I know I didn't cover like so many things, but yeah, this is definitely, I really liked this book more than the other one, more than the first one. That may be a hot take, but yeah, that's it. 5 stars. I will be reading the next one now. Okay, I did want to go ahead and give a proper outro to Iron Flame. I know that there's a lot that I missed that I didn't go over. I was in the process of reading the book and it really honestly feels like it's completely unnecessary to go over at this point. As you can see, I recorded myself right after I finished the book and I was like, God stopped. I didn't know if I wanted to scream or cry. Like, that's where I was at. And honestly, still there. So, we're gonna see how long it takes me to actually start the 3rd book. I think my roommate and I are gonna try to read it around the same time, but I feel wrecked. I feel like, I know so many people raved about like the 3rd book being so good. I loved the 2nd book. The ending got me, but I did really enjoy the 2nd book. Honestly, my phone cut me off, so I forgot where I left off. But I think that the 3rd book is going to leave me pretty disappointed. So I'm kind of tempted to not start it yet. But I do want to recap some of my favorite things about the 2nd book because, like I said, I really did enjoy the 2nd book. I did end up giving it 5 stars. It was pretty long in the amount of time that it took me to read, but also just like the book in general is big, so like it makes sense. But I enjoyed the way that they approached Xaden and Violet's relationship. It was very real. It was very authentic. There was moments where they kind of just glossed over things, and then there was moments where they just peeled apart the things that they glossed over, and To me, it made a lot of sense. I felt like I understood exactly where Violet was coming from without having to feel what Violet was feeling, personally. I also felt like I knew where Xaden was coming from, even with every single twist and turn that was happening. The ending still irks me. I do understand though. Like, it's so heartbreaking because I feel like he thought he was making the best decision for himself to save Violet, and it was like the hero's choice, or like, what's that trope where like the hero will always choose everyone else before they choose you, which like I honestly thought Xaden was going to be like the villain's choice, well, they'll choose you over everyone else. So he kind of did both at the same time, if that makes any sense to anyone other than just me. But yeah, that ruined me. I haven't opened a book in like a day and a half since. And last time, between 1 and 2, I could not stop myself from opening the next book. I couldn't even wait till I ordered it off of Amazon for it to come in like 2 days later. I opened it on Kindle Unlimited. But I do think I know, because I know that the 4th book isn't coming out for like another year, that I am trying to prolong this kind of, but I want to know. I was also describing to my roommate of like, I wouldn't consider the ending of this book a cliffhanger. I would consider the ending of this book, this is a metaphor I'm going into, so hold tight with me, like you are suspended above a canyon, but you are in a glass box, completely confined in this glass box where you can see everything that's happening around you. You are like so far off that cliff, you could not see the cliff if you tried. But there's nothing you can do other than just dangle there and just be stuck in suspension. Oh, it's like suspension is a word for a reason. Okay, so I think I should stop ranting about this book because I don't think it's ever going to end, and this video seems pretty long enough. I don't know if I kept up enough throughout the book to make this video make any sense, but it's just me spewing to a camera about a book I'm reading because I can't talk to my roommates about it because they're waiting until all the books come out. Well, except for one roommate. I can talk to one of my roommates about it. So yeah, that's my spiel about this book. Loved it. Love this feeling that I'm feeling. I haven't felt this from a book in a while. Oh, that's an outside sound. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, that's it. I'll see y'all in the next book video, or the next video. I actually don't know what order these are gonna go in because I haven't posted in a hot second. But yeah, bye lovelies.